First trip to the line in this one.
And they averaged about 77% from the free throw line a year ago. So this is a solid free throw shooting team.
So 1 for 2 that time at the stripe.
You know, with so many high hopes, the Thunder seem to be everybody's pick to make it to the finals once again. They were so dominant throughout the regular season. Many thought it was a foregone conclusion, but the injury to Russell Westbrook kind of sidetracked all of that.
Durant dishes to Perkins.
No Kevin Durant in here.
Mike Dunleavy is going to pick up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Fouls could be an issue here for him, so he's going to have to be very careful.
Chicago making a switch here. Heinrich's checked in. And there's the foul. It goes on Jimmy Butler.
Oh, my God.
That is his first foul of the game.
Yeah, close, but I didn't think he got on balance quickly enough.
I got tired
It's
of it.
hard to draw charges as quick as players are
Kevin
at this
Durant
level.
misses
That's not an
again.
easy bit of work there.
He falls, ladies
Well, I
and
hope
gentlemen.
they start
Kevin
getting warmed
Durant
up
is
here soon.
falling.
That's 0 for 4 to this point.
Uh-oh.
Strong defense there. That's exactly what you're looking for when you go to team a guy.
And it's Gibson finishing it off.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Nothing
he put
good
himself
about the
in
breath.
great position to finish that break off, guys.
Yep, right to the rack.
And back to the Thunder in the postseason.
You ain't watched
They
it.
did well to get by the Rockets after
Oh,
Westbrook
Kevin
injured his
Durant
knee.
soul bubble.
But Steve, they just didn't have the same dynamic punch
Alright,
when they
what?
later faced the Grizzlies. Ended up getting
Yesterday,
bounced
I
out
mean
in the
today,
second round.
this morning.
Well, it was a tough matchup for them because the Grizzlies are so good defensively. And when
I
you
bet
take
you
Westbrook
your team's still
out of the
missing.
lineup, all of a sudden it changes everything. I thought Oklahoma City battled, but they just didn't have enough firepower without their point guard.
Takes the three.
Get up. Oh, shit.
It's rebounded by Oklahoma City.
No, something happened
Now
to
let's
my
go to
kid.
Doris Burke, who had a chance to catch up with head coach Scott Brooks.
He communicated to his players that when taking on Chicago, they have to be as physical as possible to match the intensity the Bulls bring. He said they have no problem banging bodies inside, and we shouldn't be afraid to respond. We can't be intimidated by them, and I want us to go right at them. Sounds like we'll have a physical game on our hands, guys.
Come on,
Thanks,
come on,
Doris.
Cephalosa. Come on.
Kind of an odd year for Kirk Heinrich, who normally is a very efficient player, but started off last season shooting way below his career norms from the floor. Ran the team pretty well, but it's kind of strange to see him shoot so poorly.
And here's Heinrich following Russell
Return
Westbrook's
on
three.
three-pointer.
And it's Butler missing.
Well contested
Yeah,
shot, and they did
yeah,
an excellent job
nigga.
of not fouling the shooter.
Defense is about effort and commitment and discipline. He's a good defender because of those things.
Heinrich kicks to Rose. Back to Heinrich. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. Shots good by Butler. And going back to Heinrich, more of a jump shooter offensive. Sometimes that shot can come in, of course, go.
Yeah, he's not the scorer that he once was in his younger days.
You can't be like me, boy.
Main attribute for Heinrich is his
You're not me,
defense.
boy.
Just an incredible defender, great footwork, fundamentals, anticipation, and much stronger than he looks. He can guard ones
I don't want to
and
hear
twos.
it.
Maybe a low percentage pass, but it still nearly got through.
I like it, though. I mean, it's an aggressive play.
Get
Heads
another
up
three in.
defending,
Get another
deflected
three
away.
in.
Carlos Boozer's
Get another
checked in for
three in.
Chicago. Augustine comes in for Derrick Rose.
Oh, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
People have talked about the defensive renaissance in Chicago as a big part of their turnaround, and that's
Don't lose
accurate.
the ball, buddy.
Bibbs has done wonders for this team defensively, but another aspect is that they've had one of the deepest benches in the
Every
league the
day I
past few
think
years,
about
too.
the money.
That is a terrific effort on the shot. He's giving up a lot of size, but still finds a way to score.
I don't think that affected him in the least, though, Steve. I mean, he made it look like he
You're not
was
going
the
to
bigger
finish
guy.
that. You're not going to finish that.
Now Durant. After the missed three from Butler. Here's
You're not going
Cephalosha.
to finish that.
Augustine grabs the board. Go back to what you said, Clark, about Chicago. It is a credit to them that they've been able to constantly add or draft talent that is ready to step in for them. And Steve contribute off the bench.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You think about Taj Gibson, a late first-round pick. Jimmy Butler last year really emerged as one of the best young players in the league. Great story. So terrific job by the Bulls front office in figuring out which player to take later in the first round.
Mike Dunleavy, he's checked in for Kirk Heinrich.
It's still early, but they've started to establish themselves on the glass here.
Yeah, that's due to their physical play. They're scrapping and clawing for each and every rebound.
Okay, good shot, good shot.
Excellent vision by Durant out there. What a nice pass.
Deflects the pass, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will retain possession.
But we got to return that. We got to return
7 seconds left here in the opening quarter.
We got to return.
Noah kicks to Augustine. Dunleavy for 3. And
Let's
it's not going to go. And still a close game as the performance here, Clark and Steve. What have they been doing?
Can you hear me now?
Not doing?
Big boost from their bench there, guys, in that first quarter. They did a nice job coming in and really giving this team a lift.
Yeah, it's a nice attribute to have. Firepower coming off the pine early. That's good stuff.
Up front, Boozer and Noah.
Come on,
Jimmy Butler
Dunleavy.
is out there with DJ Augustine. And it's Dunleavy in at the small forward. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago.
You know, Mike Dunleavy, the former #3 overall pick back in 2002. He
Oh,
hasn't been a star, but boy, has he been steady and productive in a very long and solid NBA career.
Perkins, the pass to Durant.
Definitely.
And he misses the go-ahead basket. Chicago leading. Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Gentlemen, for Kevin Durant, last season probably his best yet. Among other things, he increased his assists while limiting his turnovers. Durant said, "It's just a matter of being patient and waiting for the play to develop, whether finding my teammate or finding a shot for myself. Guys," he said, "the game is slowing down for him, and he understands that to win it all, he has to get the best out of his teammates. He can't do it by himself."
Well, you have to like that focus on the team first. Thanks, Doris. In a moment here to take a look at some of the hustle stats for the Thunder.
Well, their frenetic defense has really been impressive, putting a lot of pressure on ball handlers and turning them over.
They also came out of the locker room with their running shoes on. I mean, their transition game has been full throttle.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Taj Gibson's checked in for Noah. And Derrick Rose is subbed in for Jimmy Butler. And it's blocked by Ibaka. Rose kicks to Dunleavy. He dishes it to Boozer. Feeds it to Dunleavy. Stolen by Durant. Oh, and a fast break for Oklahoma City. Durant's got the ball. An even 3-on-3 break. Rose dishes to Boozer. Leads him in there. Rose, defended by Ibaka. Out of bounds. Oklahoma City takes possession.
Hey, people had no idea, guys, how the Bulls were going to do last season dealing with the Rose injury, but they showed very quickly that they're going to be a team in the hunt, and they were still going to be hard to beat at home.
Cephalosha kicks to Durant. Mike Dunleavy is going to pick up the foul. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far.
That's the risky run by staying out there as he picks up his 3rd.
Durant drawing the double team. Ibaka, the pass to Durant. The feed to Westbrook. Misses off the right iron. And back to the Bulls at the United Center that Clark was just mentioning. 24-17 here in this building a year ago.
No!
Steve, they didn't have a lot of high-flying highlights here. They knew how to close out games.
Well, they defend, and that's the main thing. If you want to finish and close out games, you have to be able to defend and rebound. And that's what Tom Thibodeau's teams are always all about. And this year is no exception.
Hey.
Rose kicks to Gibson. Augustine. Now the dish to Dunleavy. He passes it to Gibson. Outside Rose. 6 on the shot clock.
You know, one thing with Scott Brooks, guys, he's very consistent with his message. You listen in on those timeouts. It's all about getting stops. Defense, 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 and letting their offense come from that.
And that'll be Oklahoma City as it goes out of bounds. Thunder retain possession.
Yeah, it's that thing
with the
throughout
drive.
the year. And I do not like it.
Boy, his struggles continue here in the 2nd quarter.
That doesn't go either for
It's
Durant.
that changed a lot throughout
This
the year.
quarter, he's really been
Like
off
he
the
caught
mark.
that
He
way
just
too
looks a
far.
little bit unsettled.
And Clark, you mentioned Brooks' single-mindedness. He stayed pretty constant with his rotations, too.
And there's no doubt players appreciate knowing their role, but a lot of critics have been surprised at how Brooks has stuck to his lineups. Some lineups that didn't seem to be all that effective. His usual starting lineup with Cephalosha and Perkins on the floor hasn't been their best in terms of plus-minus, but Brooks very loyal to his starting group.
And that's out of bounds. Chicago will retain possession.
Take a risk with those long passes. They're lucky the D couldn't collect it.
Kirk Heinrich, he's checked in for Augustine. Boozer kicks to Dunleavy. And there's the call on Durant. That's his first foul. Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Chicago. Jimmy Butler comes in for Mike Dunleavy. Butler up top, defended by Durant. And it's Butler with the jam. This game's going to take a big swing. Clark, if the D continues to clear out like that and give up easy dunks.
Yeah, that's the kind of defense we expect to see in a blowout, Kevin, or even an exhibition game, not a close game like this.
And you know, frustrated Steve is over.
Well, you know what, Kevin? Come on, Kevin. I just like that he didn't choose to just lay it up there. I mean, he threw it down with force.
And Oklahoma City going with a whole new group out there.
Looked to me like the defender didn't get squared up and get his feet set.
Good work by the officials. A nice call. That play can be tough to judge sometimes.
Bulls trail by 3. Heinrich kicks to Rose. And stolen by Butler. Lays it in without an inch of room around him.
He had to battle for that lay-in. Excellent, tough defense, but he found a way to get it down anyway.
The kick out to Rose. Dishes it to Butler. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. Butler's got 13.
That finish brings me back to the old days, the silky smooth finger roll.
Here's Fisher. Again, the Thunder score. Chicago's got nothing but zeros from long range in the second quarter. 0 of 4. Heinrich from outside. It's rebounded by Adams.
Boy, with an open look like that, he is so gifted. Man, you've got to play better defense. Eventually, he's going to make you pay.
You got that right. I mean, he'll do it from three-point land or anywhere on the perimeter, really, because he is a deadly shooter. You've got to do a better job defensively.
Fast break. Here comes Chicago.
Oh, man. What? Man, he got fancy with that one, didn't he?
Yeah, maybe trying to give them the momentum boost they need to break this game open.
Yeah, I like that. Some coaches might want to see just a sure-handed
3. And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first. Third quarter starting here now.
Some good numbers for Butler. He's got 13 points, and he's picked up 6 points from behind the arc.
Now, his outside stroke has looked really good today.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. So the Thunder 5 right now. Locking at the 4 with Perkins at the pivot. Backcourt is Westbrook and Cephalosha. And it's Durant in at small forward. Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Kevin, the Thunder are often seen as getting into one another during games in what looks like heated arguments. But that is the culture they want, as every player can hold each other accountable. Coach Scott Brooks describes it saying, "I'm with them every day." Did they have some competitive moments? Absolutely. But that's how we work here. We challenge each other. It gets chippy. You can't argue with the results, even if it looks like they are always at each other's throats, guys.
I believe it. Those must make for some good battles, Doris. Thanks. Stolen by Westbrook. Shots good by Durant. Durant's got 10.
He's such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Bulls trail by 7.
You know, with the recent success of Oklahoma City, you forget that in Kevin Durant's first season, they started out going 3-29. And I tell you what, you talk about their success, it's due to the resilience and perseverance and leadership of Kevin Durant and the rest of those guys.
Westbrook dishes to Cephalosha. From downtown, Westbrook. Ibaka, the pass to Perkins. Westbrook kicks to Perkins. The kick out to Westbrook. Oklahoma City moving it around. And the foul on Derrick Rose. That'll be his second foul of the game. Westbrook gets a screen from Ibaka. Westbrook with it, and Rose picks him up defensively. And the foul called on Russell Westbrook.
What?
That's his first foul. And it's Rose penetrating.
Trying to catch up.
Now here's Butler.
Trying to catch up.
By Cephalosha, and it's Butler missing. Well, there is a culture of hard work, as Clark was talking about, and the perseverance for this Oklahoma City Thunder organization. Their star players, Steve, get a lot of credit, but it's the whole organization, don't you think?
No question. It's the culture that was set. Scott Brooks has continued to kind of establish that atmosphere in the locker room. And they have players who just want to work and want to get better. And when you have a large group of people all with that same approach, you're going to be very successful.
And there's the foul. It goes on Taj Gibson. That is his first foul of the game. Well, we're into the third quarter, just over 2.5 minutes played. Westbrook can't get it to go. Bulls trail by 5. Butler on the way. And that'll be Oklahoma City's ball as it goes out of bounds.
Jimmy Butler was the last pick of the first round back in 2011 by the Bulls. And last season, I tell you what, he really solidified his place in the rotation, guys. He's still developing his outside shot, but he brings an awful lot to light to the table.
Nick Collison's checked in for Kendrick Perkins. For Chicago, they've gotten just one of their first 4 shots to fall since coming out of the locker room with the break. Stolen by Westbrook.
Oh, how about that, basketball fan?
Beautiful.
Wow.
Tell you what, he's going to put that one in his scrapbook. Absolutely insane with that dunk.
Well, now they're starting to rub it in, aren't they? Have build up a lead, and here we go, folks. It's showtime.
And why not? I mean, the more plays they make like that, the more they'll have these guys on the ropes.
Butler lays it up and banks it in. Butler's got 4 this quarter. And for Jimmy Butler, what a story. Abandoned as a child, bounced around from home to home. One coach would take him in, another family would take him in. It was a very tough upbringing down in the Houston area. He overcame tremendous odds. And to be where he is today with the great attitude after a short time at Marquette, it speaks volumes of his character.
Well, it sure shows in his play, doesn't it? I mean, just the way he hustles and draws fouls, rebounds, defends. He can guard multiple positions out there. You just love his overall game and his toughness and what he brings to this team.
And the jam by Kevin Durant. It's not possible what we just said. Clark, is that possible?
Not probable, but it is possible, partner.
You
It
said
is
it.
possible.
Not probable.
smokes.
It is possible. I don't know what all that meant, but you're right, Clark. You gotta like the way he took it strong there, attacking the rack.
And the defense fouling him there to prevent the dunk.
And the Thunder making a switch here. So neither attempt will fall that time
You
for
can
him.
suck, dude. Come on
Well, you
now.
could see it at the start of the season that Oklahoma City was being driven by falling short in the 2012 finals. Their focus was on being the best team in the West, and they jumped on that goal right from the start. Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
Well, it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
And the dunk by Jackson. Clark, some serious agility coming out of the backcourt.
You know, that bucket might count for a little more than 2 points when he finishes with that kind of flourish.
Yeah, against a D that was already reeling a little bit. That was like a body blow.
And the Thunder pushing it up now. Butler.
Can you stop? Oh my God,
Phenomenal
that was
alley-oop
lame.
slam right there, guys.
They're taking advantage, Clark, of a team
Dang,
that
that was
looks
just a
lost
regular.
out
That was
there.
a regular dunk.
Yeah, this is threatening to get kind of ugly out here.
And Augustine kicks to Butler. From deep three-point range. And released it in time, but it's off.